Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 12th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, one last thing. All right, looks good. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Link sent out. All right, guys. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. Going down to the 8-hour. Looks like this one's been validated already. Going down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we're good to go. All right, guys. So good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 12th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. I've just marked up liquidity over here. As you guys can see, price spiked up pretty high due to the CPI news this morning at 5:30 right here. We'll see price continues to climb up. If it does, the closest level of liquidity is above at 39,184, and the closest level below is at 38,802. So price corrects back down here to fill this news candle. It's going to push down to this point. If not, it'll probably keep climbing here on open. So we'll see what happens here in a few moments as market opens up in 6 minutes from now. Here's a clean chart. I'm going to mark up 6:30, mark up 8 o'clock. I'm going to go on the 4-hour time frame. Identify structure up here. So price is currently in the 4-hour resistance. I think this zone might be a little too big. So what I might do is I might just delete it and mark up the 1-minute zone. So once market opens, but for now, we'll just leave it as is. I'm going to tighten up the zone a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much eating into this whole area. And there's going to be some more zones over here as well. Yeah, there's just too many zones here. I'll mark up these zones right now, and then I think when market opens, I'll just delete all of them. And then I'll mark up the limit zones, but there's a ton of zones in this area, so it's a little too messy. So price is currently at the 4-hour resistance right here. And as you can see, if it pushes up higher, it's going to run into the 1-hour resistance. So we'll see what happens here in the next few minutes. Market's going to open up at about 5. So I've marked up pretty much the clean chart over here. As you guys can see, this is the 4-hour resistance. The zones above, let me zoom up real quick. These up here are the 1-hour resistance zones. And the 4-hour support's down here. So we'll just play by ear. And if we need to make adjustments, we'll make adjustments. Going over to our main chart. Let's go over to our main chart. We had news over here at 4 o'clock and 5:30. We have more news at 6 o'clock. So I'm gonna mark that up real quick. 4 o'clock. Which was way over here. This is pretty much irrelevant, but I'm gonna mark it up anyways. So news over there at 4 o'clock. Color that pink. And we have news over where we had news over here at 5:30, which was the CPI news. Then we have more news events where I think there was another one at 6 o'clock, which was like pretty small again. So I'm pretty much going to, I mean, I'll probably just disregard these news events. I mean, obviously we'll know what news event is what, but I'll probably disregard this. I'll just put 6 a.m. low impact. Because I don't really need to pay attention to those as much. Obviously, this is CPI. So I'll just have it there just so that we know, but it's not really relevant. And then we have a gas stock change over here at 7:30, which is pretty much happens every month. All right, so I think we're pretty much good to go, guys. Marked up everything here. So good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 12th, 6:28 right now. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. Let me scroll up real quick. Morning, Kamal. Daniel said you get that shirt from Target. No, actually, this is a RSV. What's it called? RSRV shirt. It's like it's a brand, a fitness brand. But it's yeah, I mean, it looks like a basic shirt. Probably same, very similar t-shirt. So guys, just a heads up before you guys kind of freak out later when you see my profits. I was trading pre-market with Nick over here. I got caught in the news and I made a shitload of profit. So it was with an eval that I was doing. Like I said, I'm gonna try to pass an eval like once every week or once every couple of weeks. So I was trading. Well, Nick was trading on his own. I was trading. There was a divergence entry right here. So basically a divergence that Nick typically talks about where it crosses over right here on this green candle, and then the buy signal obviously followed. So I made a lot of profit on that eval. I passed the eval with just that one trade. Yeah, just a heads up when you guys see my profits later, because it's a $40,000 profit on the account. The reason why it's so high is because the TP, there's an issue with Ninja again, where it's not closing it's not setting like a TP stop loss. So I had to close it out manually and it was already spiked up. So you guys will see the profit later when I take a screenshot of my accounts. Jose's asking what time is pre-market? Pre-market is any time before 6:30, Jose. So basically any time before now where the market opens up, that's considered pre-market. Basically 5:30 up until 6:30 is the sweet spot time, or 5 o'clock till 6:30, but that's about pre-market time. So all right, guys, market is now open right here. Market opening price. Let's see how price reacts to the CPI news. But yeah, I just want to give you guys a heads up. I'm probably going to disregard those profits for, obviously total profits, but so that you guys understand where that profit came from and why it's so big compared to what I'm normally doing. I normally wouldn't do that, but because it was an eval that I'm looking to pass, like, that's why I was okay with taking that risk. All right, so price is rejecting directly off the 4-hour resistance. As you can see, price didn't have much luck getting past it. Not going to take any entries until the market kind of shows where it's going to go. Nice. Yeah, CJ said didn't get caught in the news candle, but did get a few entries. Solid. Yeah, that's good. All right, guys, so I'm going to chill for a little bit. I've updated the levels indicator, guys. Don't take your levels indicator off your chart yet. If you guys have it on, don't take it off because you won't be able to put it back on yet. The model over here asked if I can add colors to it, so I added colors to it. Now you can change it to whatever color you want, and you can choose whether you want a solid line or a dotted line, like we've had in the past. So this is here where it's dotted, and I just put it to solid. I think solid works a little better, so you know what's the actual level. Yeah, so don't take the levels indicator off your chart, guys. If you take it off, you can't put it back on today. There was an issue with TradingView where I had to basically delete the entire indicator off the scripts, and then I'm going to it's re-uploaded, but I have to re-enable access to everyone. Yeah, there's been a lot of like behind the scenes issues with like TradingView, NinjaTrader. I mean, there's just so many things in the trading platforms and stuff where there's issues. So yeah, sorry guys, if you guys don't have access to it right now. I'm waiting for the support to get back to me so that they can re-enable everybody's access to the levels indicator. All right, so the market's unusually, well, it's not really slow, but it's not really moving directional right now. It's unusually moving indirectional, when I was expecting it to kind of move. Well, I guess it is moving. It's just the candles are so big that yeah, actually the candles are moving. It's just not really super directional. These candles are huge. This is like a 50 point, let's see, 70 point candle right there. So just be careful, guys, with your guys' entries. Again, be careful because you don't know exactly where these candles are going to go. So like I said earlier, guys, there's two things that are going to happen here. Price is either going to continue climbing up or it's going to fill the news candle from earlier this morning, right? This is one scenario, price comes down. Because the other scenarios, price climbs back up further. So there's no rush here. Just kind of wait to see how the market reacts to news, of course. Looks like there'd be a shift to the downside. If there's a shift to the downside right here, you can possibly look for price to break below this point, come back up, and continue climbing from here. All right, so what I'm going to be looking for, I think this would be a decent level right here, the 50 mark for levels entry, if anybody is looking to take that. I gotta look and wait first here. Let me just set it up in case I want to take this one. 39,050. Yeah, because the trend is starting to shift right here. You can see the trend meter is blue below. The pivots are starting to shift to the downside. So I think this could be a possible good level down here if it comes down to this point. We'll wait for the next candle here. I'm not going to mess with this one right here, though. Not the 100 level. So I'll be watching this lower level down here, but I mean, technically, if you want to take this one, you could still take it, but I wouldn't take it from there because the trend hasn't really shifted yet. So, and you can see the price is pushing back up, right? So I'm looking for the trend here to shift. It's trying to shift, but it hasn't shifted yet. That's why I'm okay with this lower level or even this lower level down here. So I'm kind of just waiting for this here to shift over a little bit. Yeah, Nick said level right there if you're disregarding the trend. Also, I would have canceled that as soon as it touched the next level. Yeah, same here. So I haven't put in an order yet. I'm just waiting for it to come down. I just have this set up right here, but waiting for it to come down further. The trend here is starting to shift a little bit, as you guys can see. So I would be looking for price to come down a bit further, bounce off here and come back further. If it doesn't come down, that's fine. We can start looking for some buys. Again, I probably won't take any buys here until maybe, where I think this level here might be okay, personally, the 150, because this here could push up to the opening price. But again, these candles are huge, so you probably want to sit out a little bit. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, guys. I'll just give you guys my thoughts, but I'm not looking to take anything here just yet. Because these candles are just, these candles are pretty big. Gotcha. Nick said the 150 already hit for him at 611. Gotcha. Yeah, and then got into that one over here. So since that one happened pre-market, I think that's cool. It's still usable right now. I think the tricky thing is that it also kind of happened right here on open. So I'll probably stay away from this 150. Thanks, Nick, for the heads up. I think you're on to something right there. So this level here has been kind of messed with for a while. So I'm probably going to stay away from the 150 mark because it did hit right here when Nick took it. So Nick took it over here at 611 pre-market, and then it also hit again here on market open. Just things to look at. I mean, you don't have to follow it, but you know, us being conservative and us analyzing, plus the ATR is extremely high right now. It's currently at 30 ATR. ATR is super duper high right now, guys. ATR is high. I'm going to measure each candle here to see how these are moving. So they're kind of, it's slowing down a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. So I'm not messing with this level here for sure. I may mess with this lower level down here. So I'll be watching for this point down here now at the 50 mark. I still have my pending, well, not pending, but I have my box set up. That there, if it comes back down lower, if the volatility dies down, not going to mess with it. Just keep that in mind, guys. I want the volatility to stay pretty decent, you know, like maybe a 20 point, 30 point candle move. I don't want it to get flat. If it gets flat and starts going sideways, not going to mess with it. Because you need volatility for the strategy. Even though the ATR is high, the ATR is only high because the previous candles have been moving. The current candles over here, they need to be moving as well. They're all limit orders, HP. I don't use any market for this. Not for the levels. For the other entries, yeah, you'd have to do market, but for the levels entries, always limit because you want to get in at that exact price. You don't want to get in too early. You don't want to get in too late. You want that exact price. Otherwise, if you do a market, you can get slippage. You know, you just end up in a messy position. And if you guys are taking entries, guys, just keep in mind that there are errors happening with NinjaTrader right now. So make sure that you flatten your position or you follow it so that you're able to flatten it if and when they do come up. So the volatility here is starting to slow down a little bit, guys. Again, if this stays kind of slow, I'm not going to take any entries here. I need this to actually spike. I need it to move pretty quickly. Like I need to push, retrace, come down. I can't have it where it's kind of pushing slowly and then it finally breaks below here and then it just goes sideways, right? I'm not messing with that. I'm only taking trades that are moving with volatility. Trend here still hasn't moved yet. So you could look for the divergence here. If the divergence happens, it's probably going to spike down in the next couple candles. So you guys see the divergence down here starting to shift. This is a confluence you guys can use to identify the shift in trend. because the trend here is shifting with the pivots. The trend is shifting here with the trend meter. And if the divergence over here breaks below, then that's another sign that, okay, price is probably going to break down below, retest, and push down further. So I'll be watching it over here. The volatility is just a little too low right now. Let's see, Rashida said on TradingView adds me and limits sometimes immediately. It kind of depends on where you put it, Rashida. So for example, if price is below here and you put a limit up here for a buy, it's going to actually put it as a buy stop. Even though you set it as a limit, it's going to be a buy stop. The buys, if you put the buys below this point, it'll be a limit. If you put the sells above where current price is, it'll be a limit. I think it might say limit, but it's actually a buy stop. That's probably why it enters you in immediately. Unless you're like right at price, then it's usually the spread that catches you, because you can see the spread over here kind of shifts a little bit. It goes from 1 to 2. So depending on like, you know, how high the volatility is, the like you got like this much of a gap. So if it's like this close to price, it'll fill you automatically, but it'll give you that actual price. So it kind of depends on where your pending order is, and then also like where your entry's at. Because a lot of the time it's so close that you don't even have time to let it push around. The main reason for the limit order is that so you'll be able to get in at that exact price. Like I want to get in at 39,050. I don't want to get in at 39,049. I don't want to get in at 39,051, right? I want to get in right at that exact price. So that's the main reason for the limit order. If you're getting in at that exact price, and it's perfectly fine. The only problem is if you enter a market or a buy stop, it's going to it technically fills as market if touched. So it's an MIT order. A lot of people don't realize that. If you're doing an MIT order that's actually market as touched, that means if price touches your price, it's going to fill you at whatever price it's currently at. So you just want to get in at that exact price so that you have the space here for your drawdown and your TP. So the market volatility here has died down a little bit. The divergence never really crossed below. It's now shifting back up. That's completely fine. If it shifts up over here, I'll probably be looking for the 200 level. Probably not going to mess with this level right here, because you can see how price is kind of messing around this area. And then also this area right here, because price has already messed around here for a bit pre-market. So the next level that I'll probably be looking to take would be the 200, not the 150. And I'm fine with whichever price wants to go. Looking over here at the chart, there's no PRV entry yet. There could be a PRV setting up soon, because now the trend is starting to shift back up. There's no breakout V3 continuation or breakout V3 set up here. Looking at liquidity over here, this liquidity got hit pre-market, but I mean, obviously you wouldn't have taken it because it hit pre-market. So if you're looking for that second touch, it'll probably push through and hit up to the next levels. So just looking at where price is currently at right now, it's really just sitting here in the middle. It's just consolidating. Consolidating within the 4-hour resistance. If there's not too much movement here, I might even just delete this and then create a new structure. But for now, we'll just leave it as is. This is currently the 4-hour resistance zone. So price is climbing back up right here. And just gotta wait. So you can see the volatility starting to come down a little bit. Again, guys, just because the ATR is high, this doesn't mean that the market's moving, right? It just means that the candles are volatile, but there's not really much direction. So when you guys are trading, you have to keep in mind that you still have to focus on like the specific candles. I know I showed you guys the ATR gives you a good overall picture, but realistically, you have to look at what's actually happening here and now, because it's a big difference. Sometimes these candles will be moving super slow and the ATR will be super high, or the candles will be moving super fast and the ATR might be super low. So you just got to keep that in mind. All right, so we got price over here, still no direction. Price pushed up a little bit. Now it's coming back down. Now I'm curious if Apex is renewing, let me see real quick. If they're renewing the promo. Okay, so they are. They're just gonna keep renewing the promo. So now it's 71% and 1 day pass. That's fine. I'm only concerned about the 1 day pass because I passed that eval today for the 250K. So I'm okay with whatever it is. I mean the promo is not as great, 71%, but still promo. All right, price is coming back down right here. Yeah, and the 250K is still 18, so that's solid too. That's why I did the 250 for the for my account today for that eval I was passing because the lifetime fee, which is 85, and then it's like the same cost as the 50K account. And these are just temporary accounts, guys. So these accounts that I'm passing, these evals that I'm just getting PA'd real quick, they're just temporary for like the next month or two because um because because once the 300Ks are all done, those are all going to get converted anyways. So that's why they're just temporary. I'm sending a few payouts from them. Maybe you'll owe them 1 day and then transfer them over. Jose's asking, you can pass an eval in 1 day. Yeah, I mean, if you can pass it, yeah, I can pass it. Not everybody can do that in 1 day, but there's they have the promo going on right here. So if you pass in 1 day, you'll get your eval or your PA the next day. They're kind of lagging though. So my PA from Friday that I passed, they haven't given me the PA yet on that, which is really unusual. I sent them a ticket. They haven't responded to me, but obviously they have bigger problems with Rhythmic and NinjaTrader right now. So it's all good. I'm not in a rush. Yeah, Rashid, it's just that it's Apex. I was just looking to see if the promo is still active because I passed the 250K today. Here, I'll just screenshot my accounts right now. Just a quick screenshot. All right, back to the charts. So there's nothing really going on here, guys. As you guys can see, price is kind of just in limbo in between these price points. There's not as much direction as I was expecting. So I gotta keep watching it here. Yeah, but also they don't seem to talk about the issues with TradingView or NinjaTrader. Yeah, I haven't seen any notices for them, but there are issues. So when I took that trade earlier this morning, my trades didn't set TP stop loss. So it didn't close me out. I had to close out manually. That's why I have so much profit on the account. I was only aiming for the profit goal, which was I think 27,000, but it just ended up pushing further. So it ended up at 40. But you guys will see that later. Or I'll just post it in the Discord right now. It doesn't really make a difference. And I just traded that one individually. All right, so if you guys look at the Discord, you guys will see my profits from today, of course. So you guys can see right here, there is the eval that I passed today, 40,000 profit. You can see all of my other accounts here. There's no profit yet because I haven't taken any trades. But I don't recommend people do that. Only trade that way if like you understand the risk, right? That eval was like 10 bucks, so or 18 bucks, whatever it was. So I was like, whatever, I'll trade my way. And then if the news happens, then if it pushes through, it'll push through. And it did. And then I had to close it manually. So yeah, basically got two funded accounts in like 2 days. Basically, I got one on Friday, got one today. I'm just gonna, whenever I feel comfortable, whenever I feel like, like I got it that day, I'll just open an eval and I'll just trade pre-market or after the market or whatever, and I'll just try to pass it right away. Because it's, the risk reward on that is huge. Because like now that I'm funded on that account, I'll just add it to my copier, throw on a small contract size, and I'll just lock in a couple of $1,000 for free on that account. So, because these PAs are taking forever. The 300Ks are taking forever, guys. You guys know that. I'm slowly climbing up and then it bounces back, and then it's just a back and forth game with those 300Ks that are not PA'd yet. But I do have a couple funded accounts just raking in profits for now. Let's see, Nixa, they've been quiet this week with all the issues. We will see when they respond. Yeah, no, I didn't even realize they had another promo going on. They didn't report that at all. There's a V1 variation right here, guys. I'm going to sit out on this right now because I just don't like how price is moving sideways. This right here is a V1 variation. It's also a CV entry possibly, if you guys are looking to take it. I'm not going to take this though. I just want price to start moving. It hasn't really moved too much yet. You guys can see the pivots here are kind of crossing over. Never mind, I take that back. If this closes green, it'll be a CV and a V1 entry. But looking at how price is currently moving here, it's kind of just consolidating sideways. So I'm going to sit out on taking any entries here right now. And also with Nick here, he also mentioned the divergence across to the bottom. So it's a little bit of some blocky movement here. So there's a CV entry, guys. If you guys took it, it's currently running right now. This is a V1 variation CV. There you go, full TP if anybody caught it. Again, I said I'm going to hold off on this right now because I don't like how the candles are moving kind of blocky and they're just going sideways. You don't want to trade in a sideways market like this. Trust me, guys. If you guys do want to trade like this, I think the CV and V1 variations will probably be your best friend. You can see right here, it played out perfect. It just spiked right up. But again, it's a tricky move because there's no direction. You don't really know where price is going to go next. And I'm not here to gamble, so I'm only taking the quality entries that I see. But all right, so we'll just wait here. We got some team profits here. We got Kip. So Kip locked in 2,107 per account. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 accounts. So we'll say well over 22,000 for the day. Nice work. Kipper the Dipper. Solid profit there pre-market, it looks like, or you took that right here on open. So that's about it for right now. If you guys have any profits to post up, there's just a V1 CV entry over here come up, just full TP. So if you guys took that, if you guys want to share your profits, feel free. Otherwise, I don't have anything to really share here aside from my my eval that I just passed right here. That's all I got. These are my profits for the week. I'm probably gonna have to disregard this for the total profits for the week so far and for the day because it's just so much. It pretty much doubled up my profit for this week. So I was currently up. This was the profits from yesterday. And then this is just gonna snowball it into a 100K week, which would be nice if that was like an actual PA already. All right, so we got price coming down lower. Let's see, it looks like it's starting to come down lower. So if this is the case, you might finally get that levels opportunity here at the 50 mark. Got 50 seconds here. I still got my wind up, my ticket prepared from earlier. So I'll be watching it right here, guys. Looking for it to close below this 50 mark here. And then if it closes, I'll be looking to take this as a levels entry. Got 30 seconds left. So it's got to close below this black line right here. All right, so let's slow down a little bit. It's not going to close, not on this candle. Maybe the next one. No. So it's really just ranging within the 4-hour resistance, guys. So looking over here at our clean chart, again, like I said earlier, it's not really going anywhere. It's just ranging within the 4-hour resistance. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take this off and I'm going to mark up new structure so that you guys can see the range. All right, so there's a range right now, currently at the support right now. So double bottom right here on the support. We'll see if price breaks below it again. We'll continue to follow here. It's got about, and it's not going to come down yet. The good thing is that there's volatility here. So, I mean, there's volatility. The only problem is that there's no direction. Price is going back and forth. It's just in this big range right here between the 1 hour resistance and the 1 minute support right here. Yeah, Nathan said possible MPS. Not yet, Nathan. I wouldn't consider it MPS because of the pivot. So the pivots here haven't confirmed the trend yet. So I wouldn't look for any MPSs like right here specifically. I mean, technically, if you wanted to look for it, you could, but I'd probably sit out on it for right now because the trend here isn't like fully confirmed. But yeah, going back to this over here, yeah, and that buy momentum's popping up too. So probably better to just hold off on it. Yeah, there's not really too much going on here, guys. As you can see, price is kind of just going back and forth. Again, if price pushes up higher and it pushes back up to open, it'll probably hit liquidity up there and continue climbing. But at this very moment, there's not much here to look at. Tom is asking, do you have a pending order at the 50 or just waiting for retracement to get it? Well, you can't put a pending order until price is actually broken below it, Tom. So I haven't put anything yet. Like there's no setup there until it actually breaks below. So until it breaks below, you can't really put a pending order there, or else it's just not going to be the entry type. You might get filled before it even breaks. Because what happened is if you put a pending order there, it'll fill it before it actually closes below, and you'll be in a position that you don't want to be in. So yeah, not yet. But if it does, you know, in the situation where it does come below it, that's where I would place it. So as soon as it closes below that point, then I would hit pending. But right now I'm just waiting for it. Yeah, no problem, Tom. You just don't want to get caught in a position that you don't want to be stuck in, or you don't want to get in accidentally. Because that's what happened with me last time when I was using the DOM. I put a buy stop there instead of a limit, and then as soon as it ticked it, or it didn't even tick it, it hit me with the spread, and then I got stuck in the position, and it gave me a loss, unfortunately. Okay, so price is right in between the range again. As you guys can see, there's nothing going on here, guys. Price is pretty much just going back and forth between these levels. So here on the clean chart, you can see not too much going on. Once there is a new high here, a higher high, I'll mark up the zone there, and then you'll be able to see it a little better. Got some sort of weird error on my Ninja. It said that my data isn't real time, which I don't know. It's weird. I think we might be rolling over soon. That's why. So I think the contracts are going to be rolling over probably in the next couple weeks. June, probably by the end of June. I'll let you guys know when I roll them over, but I haven't rolled them over yet. I'm still in June. All right, guys. So in order for me to take an entry here, I need price to actually move. So I can't have these small candles. You guys can see how this is slowly coming down. If it's slowly coming down like that, I'm not going to take the levels. And it's got to spike, or not really spike, but it's got to push down heavy enough for it to continue moving like that. Right? I want something like this. I don't want a small climb down. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are looking to take this entry here, I'm looking for an actual movement, not like some slow climb to the downside. So we have divergence here for a sell. Thanks, Nick. So it didn't actually close yet. I think this candle here would be the close. So that divergence is going to be helpful to identify the, you know, that kind of big candle down that I'm waiting for. We still don't have the trend here yet, guys. So the pivots here still haven't confirmed. That's why I need that big push down. Once we get that big push down, it's going to confirm the trend here, and it's probably going to keep climbing down further. We got about 30 seconds left on this candle. So again, I need this to actually come down super heavy and then come back up for entry. If it makes a slow climb, I'm just going to sit out on this because it's probably just going to consolidate down here. If it breaks below and it just slowly moves, it's just going to go sideways. And I don't want that. I want an actual push to the downside. This candle, they're just not really moving very smoothly. All right, so looking at this again right here, this candle would have to break and close below it, guys. If this candle doesn't break and close below the 50 level right there, then I'm just expecting this to continue to go sideways, and I'm not going to mess with it because you don't want to get caught in the fake out. That's probably what's going to happen if it does end up climbing down a little slow. We got 30 seconds left on this candle here, so we got some time. I mean, this thing could spike down in like the last 10 seconds like it's been doing in the past. You just make sure to follow it. We got 20 seconds left. 15 seconds. We got 10 seconds, not looking like it's going to break below, but I'm going to keep following it. So yeah, it's not looking like it's going to set up how I'm looking for, guys. Again, this is probably going to be the last candle. This candle, I'm looking for a nice wick. So this candle has about a minute left. I'm looking for it to kind of push up a little bit, come down hard, and then provide entry right there. That's kind of what I'm looking for. If this here closes red, it could be a breakout V3 continuation, but you want to be careful for the fake out below this level, like I was mentioning earlier, guys. You want a strong candle. You don't want something weak. If it's weak, it's just going to go sideways. So it might go sideways here for a bit and then fake out. So again, I'll keep looking at it. If I get a big red candle right here and it closes, then I'll be setting up my pending order. If not, then I'm just going to sit out, and I'm probably not going to use this level here, at least not yet. Okay, so it's not looking like it's going to come down. There's no entry here. I'm going to take this off. I'll come back when it actually moves. So again, same situation here again, guys. It's now just going to consolidate around this area. So this will probably retrace up a little bit. And then if we get a big candle here, then probably spike down and continue climbing. But as of now, I just don't see anything here. Candle didn't close red, so there's no BB3 continuation there. If it closes below and it's a slow candle, I'm not going to mess with it. We'll follow it, but I'm not going to mess with it. And the slow volatility is just not worth the risk. Man, this market kind of sucks today. I was hoping it'd be moving like it was all week. But yeah, it looks like the market it just didn't really react to the news today. I mean, it reacted a little bit, but not enough. You guys can see the big candle here. It hasn't really come down yet. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with it. You guys can see how price is consolidating right here. The last thing you want to do is get into a position right here below, and it just consolidates further sideways, spikes up to stop you out, and then it comes back down. You guys have seen that before. So look out for the fake outs. Whenever price is moving slow like this, the thing that you want to look out for the most is the fake out. All right, the fake out is probably your biggest concern. And if you want to trade the fake out, I mean, if you really want to risk it, you can take the opposite side. So instead of taking the sell, like say, for example, we're looking for a sell here, you probably just take the fake out, take the buy, right? That's probably what's going to happen. And this just comes from like seeing the market like this. You know, we've been trading this type of market for the past couple months now. This month has actually been really good. Last 2 days were good. Last week was good. But every month before that, it was just a bunch of fake outs, right? So if you want to trade the fake outs, you can, but I don't really recommend it. You know, stick to your trading plan. If your trading plan is to trade with the trend, then trade with the trend. Never recommend you guys switch things up, because as soon as you switch things up, things are probably going to change. Let's see, Nick said I can still see it coming down. Powell speaking today. Everyone's waiting for that in case. Yeah, I didn't realize he was speaking today. Nick said a lot of people are betting that he's going to cut rates since he promised 3 rate cuts this year. Personally, I don't take promises from the Fed seriously. I don't think 3 are going to happen. I think they initially said that and they changed it to 1, Nick. Because I remember they said that like the beginning of the year, and then they said, okay, we're only going to do 1 this year. So they're probably going to do 1, and that's probably going to be it. So it's either going to have, I don't think it's going to happen now. It's probably going to happen in the fall or in the winter. So the levels might be setting up right here, guys. I'm not going to take it. Like I said, I don't want to trade in this type of market or it's just going sideways. So the level is actually just set up right there, guys, with that big candle. This was the big candle I was looking for earlier, but at this point, I'm not looking for it because I already see how these candles right here were moving, right? If we had this big drop right here and it would have came down, I would have been okay. But because I see the consolidation right here, I'm not going to mess with this because I think this is just going to consolidate here as well, sideways. And this is the trap that I was just warning you guys about. So I said, look out for the fake out when price gets below this point. That's pretty much what's happening right now. So I'm not in this position, guys. Just a reminder. I'm just marking it up for you guys so that you guys can follow it if there's anybody who wanted to take it. But we pretty much predicted this fake out to happen. And that's why I didn't take it. This is why you don't trade in a sideways market. Because the thing is, it can still hit your TP, but it could also hit your stop loss before it hits your TP. So that's the thing to be careful about. This is what I've noticed from like the market lately. If the market's not moving directional or there's not any like really heavy movements to follow, then it's better to just sit it out. Yeah, exactly. Nick said a bit of a gamble for sure. Rashida said she actually wanted to push up, then come down. I would have wanted that too, Rashida. So I would have waited for it to climb up a little bit and then make a big spike to the downside and then take entry. Right? That would have been ideal because you would have volatility behind your push. But right here, you can see this is what I was worried about. Even though price is in profit here, I'd still be stressed out because this is pretty much doing what we were anticipating, the sideways movement. I mean, I hope it hits. Like I prefer it to hit, of course, but being on the conservative side, of course, you know, I'm gonna expect the worst just in case. So it looks like it's about to hit. Like this would have stressed me out right here. I probably would have closed out early at this point. It's already at 10 points. Yep, full TP. So if you guys took it, nice work. I didn't think this was a good entry because of the price movement before the entry point, but it's all good. If you guys took it, great work. If you guys didn't, again, it's fine. So there was 2 entries here that came up today. There was a CB V1 variation that came up right here, which is a full TP. And then of course a leveled entry right here that was also a full TP. A risky entry, but a full TP nonetheless. All right, so if it continues to climb down, that's fine. I'll look at the 100 mark over here, or the 1,000 mark, 39,000. So let me just edit my pending order over here. So I'll be watching that next level right there. There's a high-low scalp that happened right there too. Thanks, Daniel, for the heads up. So that was also a high-low scalp. There's some confluences right there. It was a levels entry plus the high-low scalp. A little fake out right there, a little scare. And then it came back down further. But again, this is what I don't like to trade in, guys. I don't like to trade when the market goes sideways like this because I want it to fill and hit my TP right away. I don't want to have to worry about it. I don't want to have to think about it. I'm just like, take my entry and then, you know, let it hit for the most part. So again, the next level here is at 39,000 mark. So again, we'll just be waiting here. Nothing there yet, but we'll be waiting for it. 7:10 right now. We still got some time. News is at 7:30. I'm not gonna mess with any trades around news. Nice. Rashida actually caught the entry. So solid work right there, Rashida, catching that there. Rashida said she was scared. Yeah, no, I would have been scared too, honestly. Because we already anticipated that to happen, that sideways move. And then it just kept going. There's an MPS right here too that Daniel mentioned. So this pulled up right here. The MPS happened at the 30 mark and it played through. So there was another entry right here at the 30 mark. There's entries here, guys. So there's opportunities in the market. It's just depending on how like which risk appetite is, right? That's kind of what it is. Okay, so you have another levels entry right here that's setting up, guys. This one right here I will set up for. So we got about 38 seconds left on this candle. I'll set this up soon. Already got it set up. I just got to wait for it to actually. Let's see. So we got 20 seconds left on this candle. We got 10 seconds left. All right, I'll put my pending order right there.
Order submitted.
So I got my pending order sitting right here at the 39,000 mark, looking for it to retest. If it drops any further, then I'll just cancel it. So if it drops too far, I'm just going to cancel it. It's not filled yet. Still okay right here, where it's currently at. If it drops like below the 70 mark, I'm just going to cancel it. It's a little too far down, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know if and when I cancel it. Or if it starts to consolidate, I'll also cancel it. So it looks like it's going to push back up here possibly. So I'll wait for the next candle, see how this here pushes. All right, still hasn't filled.
Order filled.
All right, so I'm in it now. I gotta watch it here because in case there's any issues with my copier. Be watching my flatten button just in case. All right, so it's just sitting right there on the entry point. Just watching it now. Volatility is a little low. Yeah, I don't really like how it's moving super slow right now, guys. Just watching it down here. I'm just watching on Ninja because I just want to make sure that when it gets to the point, it actually closes me out when it's supposed to.
Stop filled.
I'm out. So I got stopped out on that, guys. I didn't really feel comfortable with it anyways. So I took a small loss right there. It's all good. Wait, what happened? It's weird. For some reason, it only took it on my personal account. I'm just want to make sure that it's not on all my Apexes. I swear it was on my Apex accounts, but it's weird. Okay, well, I lost that trade right there. I'm all good. I'm not going to take any more trades for today, guys. I think there's an issue with my copier, which was a good issue, but still an issue nonetheless. It didn't take it on my other accounts for some reason. I thought it was because all of my bubbles were yellow. I don't see any losses on any of my Apex accounts, which I mean, obviously is a good thing. Okay, so let me mark this up as a loss, of course. And I'll take a screenshot of my accounts. Thankfully, it didn't copy to all my accounts, but still. Let's see. So I think that's the first loss for the levels. We haven't had a loss with the levels since we started applying it. And it was a small loss anyway, so it wasn't really a big deal. So this over here real quick. I'm still like kind of confused why it didn't copy to my accounts. I'm glad it didn't, but I'm still confused. I'm hoping it's not going to come up later and I'm just going to have a random late loss on there. But here, let me put this over here real quick for you guys. All right, so here are my accounts for the day. Again, I don't know what happened with my Apex accounts. I had the copier on, but for whatever reason, it didn't copy over. That's what I was looking at my copier for, but oh shit. Okay, that was my mistake. I see what happened. There's no issue with the copier. I forgot to set contract size. So it was at 0. That's why I didn't execute any trades, thankfully. I guess a good mistake on my end. So here are my accounts, guys. Obviously I'm accounting this as a loss. Here's my personal account down below. I lost 805, which is all good. I'm still up for the week so far, 566. Here are all of my Apex accounts right here, as you guys can see. The first account over here was the eval that I just passed today, 40,000. Everything else, 0. So, all right. It's all good. Losses happen. So I ate that loss right there on my personal account. That's pretty much the only account I took the loss on. So I guess it was a good mistake on my end. At first, I thought there was an issue, but I just forgot to put my contract sizes for my Apex accounts. So that's why the profit only shows, or the loss only shows on my personal account. So I'll keep analyzing for trades here, guys, but I'm going to stick to my rules. We had this rule that I set last week and I didn't follow it. I ended up revenge trading and I ended up taking 2 losses instead of 1. Today, I'm going to be following my rules. I'm going to eat that 1 loss for the day and then I'm pretty much done. So I turned off my laptop and we will continue analyzing for any other opportunities here. As you guys can see, the market here was moving kind of iffy. I was already iffy from it from earlier today with this sideways movement. Again, right here, I was tempted to close out for a small profit when this was kind of bouncing around right here, but I didn't because obviously I'm following the trading strategy that's supposed to be applied and I held on to it. Unfortunately, it did hit stop loss. That's a first loss for the level strategy, which is going to happen. The good thing about this strategy is that it's a 1-to-1. So the overall profits for this week so far is still very good. So everyone should still be in profit for this week. Everyone should still be in the green. Overall, we had 1 win on Monday, 1 win on Tuesday. Today we had 1 loss. They're all for 1-to-1, 15 points. So still a good week overall. Anyways, price here is still going sideways. So there's nothing for us here to take right now. I mean, this thing here is still moving same direction that it's been moving. And I guess we'll see what happens here. But this is the type of market that you don't want to be trading in. So let's just go back to our entry from today. So you can see over here, the market was actually looking kind of decent, right? It was moving directional. That's why I was okay with taking this entry here. However, when the market started to go sideways, I said, if it's going to go sideways, I'm probably going to cancel my trade. I waited for this here. This was the first sideways movement. This one was right here where it got filled. I should have closed it out once I started to see it was going sideways right here. But I mean, it's all good. It is what it is. It always looks better from hindsight, after it's happened. But when it was happening in real time, this could have really happened either way. It could have spiked down, hit your TP, or it could have spiked up and hit stop loss. So it's all good. Eat the loss, move on to the next one. And I'm hoping there's going to be some more movement here. If not, obviously, we're not going to force any trades. We will continue to, we'll monitor, but for the direction that price is currently moving right here, not really expecting much to happen. Because in order for us to take another levels entry, price would have to be like down here, right? And if there's no movement, then there's no movement. Yeah, HP said, I love the one-to-one strategies. Yeah, I mean, like I said before, guys, the market's always going to change and these prop firms are always going to change the rules. So you guys don't have to worry about it because I know how to adapt with the market. So as you guys know, Apex has kind of changed the rules a little bit. You can't use a 3-to-1 risk reward anymore. So that's what we were using before. We kind of chopped it down to 2-to-1 and now we're back to 1-to-1. So the 1-to-1s are nicer because when you take a loss, it doesn't hurt as much. If you took a loss and it was like a 2-to-1, you'd be back at break even for this week. But because the entries that we've been taking are 1-to-1, everybody should still be in profit overall. And thankfully, it only executed on my personal account and not on my Apex account. So I'm fine with it. I'm actually glad that happened. So we got a couple losses over here. Vimal took a loss. Jessica took a small loss as well. And Natasha, which is all good. So we will continue to look for any opportunities here if anybody's still looking for entry. There's another, so there might be a breakout B3 continuation setting up right here, guys. So we have a sell signal. We have a possible red candle here closing. If you guys want to take it again, that's going to be on you guys. I'm not going to take it, so take it at your own risk. I will mark it up and I'll show you guys where it's happening at. But because of these slow moving candles, I think this is probably best to sit out unless this candle closes a little bit bigger. So if this candle closes like pretty decent size, I think it would be a decent entry to take. But if it closes like with a small little block right there, like these small blocks, I wouldn't mess with it because it's probably going to be a fake out. It'll probably hit, but it'll also probably be a fake out. I was thinking like for a lot of these entries, you can probably use a 15-15 for all of them now if you want to do a 1-to-1 because it gives you enough like wiggle room to hit your TP or to, and there goes a breakout V3 continuation, guys. I don't know if anybody caught it, but again, for me personally, I would have thought it was risky. The 15-15 might be a little too far out though. If you did a 10-20, it would have hit right there. Unless you want to do a 10-15, you can do that as well. So Rashid over here caught it. Nice work, Rashid. I know you're waiting for that breakout V3 continuation since like way up here. So you had your eye on that. So that's the thing, guys. Like people always ask, what's the best strategy to use? There's no best strategy. You guys just need to figure out what you like to apply. Like Rashida here has been looking at this breakout V3 continuation since this candle over here, 7 o'clock. So for the past 30 minutes, she's basically waiting for that breakout V3 continuation. And it came up here finally, played through exactly how she planned and worked out. So again, the volatility here is just very low, guys. There's a lot of entries that which have come up today. So as you can see, there was a CV entry that came up here for a full TP. This over here was a levels entry that came up for a full TP. This right here was a MPS that came up for a full TP. Unfortunately, the levels that I decided to take down here didn't hit. But you guys can see how the fake out happened right here, right? So this is the same fake out that I was worried about that was going to happen over here. So price kind of consolidated down here a little bit, faked out, came back down, hit its TP. So if we didn't get caught in this little fake out, we would have survived the move, but it's all good. It's all part of the game. You got to eat your losses, play your probabilities, and take profit where you need to take profit. Nice. Jamie caught it as well. So she caught it, Jamie caught it. HP said, yeah, I think 1-to-1s are better since we have trailing drawdowns with Apex. Yeah, I agree with you too, HP. It's kind of hard to trade the It's kind of hard to trade the negatives when the news is kind of like, or not the news, but the apex criteria is so tight. Let's see, CJ's asking, wasn't that a CV buy at 712? Let me check. 712. No, so this would be a V1 variation right here, CJ. The reason why it's not a CV is because the low has to be a red candle. So see how the CV over here, this low was a red candle. It or I don't know where that CV was. Yeah, the low has to happen on this candle and then it has to push up. So it's like a reversal pattern. Like price comes down, establishes the bottom, and then it kind of pushes through a little bit. All right, Rashida, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, good luck on your closing. Well, you don't really need luck. You're closing on it already. So have a great day, Rashida. We'll see you back here tomorrow. But yeah, so back to what I was saying earlier about the CV, guys. In order for it to be a CV, there has to be I was trying to look for a pattern. I know this gets confusing. So this is a CV right here, CJ. See how the high right here is a green candle? I mean, this wouldn't be a CV, but this is kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for a high with a green candle, and this is a CV right here, actually. So high with the green candle and then a small red candle. That'd be a CV entry. For the 712 candle over here, this here, the low was a green candle, so it didn't work out. The low would have to be the red candle and then have to push up from there. Yeah, no problem. I know the CVs get kind of confusing, but once you like build an eye for it, it usually works out majority of the time. So this isn't really good markets trading, guys. As you guys can see, it's not really doing anything. It's still going sideways. Let me see if I can mark up structure over here again. It's okay. It's just one of those days where the market's been consolidating, going sideways for a while. So you can see here, it's just not a good area to really take anything. If you want to take an entry, I would probably look for a CV or a V1 variation. Those are mainly the two strategies that I would be looking at because those reversal patterns tend to play through. So for example, right here, see how there's a V1 pattern for a sell? That could have been taken for a sell right there. I mean, it would have taken forever to hit, but still a V1 pattern. So yeah, if you guys want to keep trading in a market like this, look for some V1s and look for some CVs. Those are the main ones that I would recommend you guys look at. Otherwise, the directional strategies aren't really going to work very well in this type of market. It's pretty sideways. So if there's any questions that you guys have, guys, feel free to pop into the chat. I mean, this is a good time for you guys to ask questions because there's not really much going on the chart. I'm pretty much done trading for the day on my personal accounts. I had my loss, so once I have a loss, I'm pretty much cut off from the market. Can't make the same mistake as last week. I mean, I probably would have recouped the loss here, but you can't think of it that way. There's no woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's you win, you lose, learn from it, and move on to the next opportunity. Again, we have gas stock change right here at 7:30. So if you guys are looking to take anything, probably hold off. I don't think this is going to push price very much, but it is going to push price at least a little bit to my understanding. It's probably going to react slightly. This news happens every month, every Wednesday, usually the second or third week, or almost every week sometimes. There's gas stock change on a Wednesday. Let's check out CNBC real quick. So CNBC over here, the fundamentals are still up 211 points. See some updates over here on Roaring Kitty. I know some of you guys have been following it, especially Nick. Keith Gill has some tough choices to make on his GameStop options with Wall Street ready to pounce. I mean, for him personally, I would probably take your money and run, bro. This guy's up so much on GameStop. I would just take the money and run. But then again, he's different. He's way different because he held on to that GameStop for a long time. He's been holding it on since the last pump, and he pretty much just almost became a billionaire in like 2 days, which is pretty insane. CPI news over here. Obviously, we know CPI news from yesterday. or not yesterday, today, actually. So it looks like we didn't get a continuation from the CPI. It's pretty much just going sideways. Let's see, Randy's asking, do you have a link for the copier you use? Yeah, sure. Let me get that link for you right now. All right, Randy, I'm gonna post it in the group. Oops. Or not the group, the YouTube. Damn, this thing. Here, let me just, I'll post it in two different posts. Message is too long. So this will give you 20% off the copier. Flowbots for Ninja. All right, guys, so looking at current price, it's literally doing nothing right here. The news just came out. Price still pretty flat. So there goes the news candle right there. Not too much going on right there, guys. Let's see, Vamalsa got to go. See you tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. We'll see you back here tomorrow. All right, so we're getting a reaction to the news right here. You can see how price is starting to push up, kind of heavy. Let's take a look at the gas stock change. It was a little mixed. So we had news over here that was medium impact. It was negative. And then we have some down here that's just positive. So it was a one-sided. It kind of went both directions. But nothing really happened. Until we get a bigger push. Not really anything here to work with. So it looks like we might get a shift up. If you guys want to take a levels entry off this right here, the 50 mark, you can. I mean, I probably wouldn't take it because the shift isn't really confirmed. But yeah, it looks like we might be getting a shift back to the upside. See, we got some profits over here. So Natasha here, she recouped some of her loss from that breakout V3 continuation. I spoke to Natasha. She's only down 99 for the day, so it's not too much. And then we have Jessica over here. She made some nice profits. So Jessica locked in 590 on her first account, 560 on the second, basically 500 per account here. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 times 5, she locked in. Let's just do the math. 9 times 500. She locked in 4,500 for the day. Nice work. Nice work, Jessica, with catching that trade there. Natasha took one more trade. She's now back in the green. Solid work right there, Natasha. So nice recovery on your account right there. Pretty solid. So it looks like some of the people here who posted their profits are back in profit for the most part. Again, I'm leaving my accounts alone. Here are my profits for the day. So for the day, including my eval account, I lost basically 805 on my personal. That's about it. But for the week so far, I'm still up pretty heavily. So not really a big deal there. I'll probably just reverse engineer my math. Yeah, I'll actually do that. It's probably easier. So I don't have to do all the math here. So let's see, 61 to 10 minus 8 05. All right, so I'm still up 60,405 for the week, which is fine with me. Let's have one loss from my personal account. I'll add that up later. I'll add the rest up later, but for the most part, I'm probably going to disregard the eval account. It's just too much profit. I don't want it to seem unrealistic to you guys. Like making 40,000 in a day off one account is like not really realistic. I only did that because it was the eval, of course. Yeah, no problem, Randy. All right, guys, so if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. As you guys can see right here, there's not really too much going on, so we have some free time here. Price is pushing back up. There might be a possible levels entry right here for a buy. I wouldn't take it yet because the trend hasn't really shifted too much. I'd probably wait for it to push up to the next level up here. I think ideally this would be the best, the better opportunity for entry, the upside. All right, so price is coming back down, still no push. So Barron's just posted this thing that said Fed won't cut rates this year. All right, so yeah, now that Nick has mentioned that earlier this morning, about Powell, let me check the calendar real quick. So we have the FOMC economic projections. Obviously, I'm expecting Powell to speak during that time, the interest rate decision. Barron's, which is a very well-known news outlet, posted this. So yeah, basically it said Powell won't cut rates, and they have like a full article on that. I'm not expecting him to cut rates. I don't think rates are going to get cut this year. I mean, if anything, a change might happen later, but it's not going to happen today. So that's just my prediction for the Fed cuts. There's just no reason for them to cut rates right now. The economy's not doing so great still. Inflation's still high. So there's no need for them to make cuts. Let's see. Nathan's asking if that was a CV entry. Which one are we looking at, Nathan? I don't see one here. I don't know if it happened before. You're probably talking about this one right here, right, Nathan? Yeah, so there's no CV entry right there because the high was a red candle. If this was a high right here, this green candle, and you had this red candle next to it, that would be a CV entry. Because you just need it to establish like the high point with the green candle, and then the red candle right here is supposed to indicate the correction back down. So no CV entry right there. I know it gets confusing because sometimes these candles just spike up at the last second. Like this one right here, I'm pretty sure this was a CV entry before it pushed up a little bit, but it ended up pushing up a little too high, established a new high, and then it came back down. Yeah, no CV entry right there. This right here actually would have been a levels entry for a sell, but again, the levels entry already happened over here. So if you guys want to keep reusing levels, for me personally, I don't reuse levels, but if you guys want to reuse levels, this level could have been used again because the trend here was still bearish. Price pushed up, it bounced off the level right there. It would have filled it, and it would have came back down. But again, I wouldn't do that because I don't reuse levels. I only use them once. So this one was the level from earlier. So you can't use it a second time. Technically you can, but for me personally, I wouldn't use it a second time. Man, this market sucks. It's just really, really well, now the market's picking up, but of course, I'm not looking for any entries. But basically for the entire session from like 6:30 up until, not 6:30, earlier in the session, the market was actually moving. Basically from 6:50 up until here 7:30 for an hour, market was kind of sucking. Now it's starting to pick up a little bit, but I'm not going to take that risk, of course. Let's see, Randy's asking, I noticed there's a lot of choices to pick from. Which one are you using? I just use the single machine. So here, let me check the link real quick. So Randy, for Flowbots over here, it's just this one. So it's Replicano. This is the one that you would choose. This is the actual copier. And then the one that you would pick would just be a single machine lifetime. Unless you're using like two computers and you do two machines, but I'm pretty sure you're only using one. So you just use single machine. And that's what you would use. So that's the copier that I'm using. I know they do have a lot of things here. If you're using a VPS, you can buy credits and stuff, but I don't think you're using that either. So just Replicano, which is the actual application. And then you click on single machine there, and that's the one that you would use. Don't forget to use a code because it's like 200 by itself, but if you use the code, it's 20% off. And they should be like that 20% off, they should be even more for how many people we bring into their platform. But it's the main one that people use for Ninja, and it works well. So all right, guys, there is a I mean, I wouldn't take the CB, I wouldn't take the levels entry right here. But there is some movement and some volatility here. The ATR is still at 21, so there's still some decent space there. See, these candles are moving about 20 points. It's not a crazy amount, but it is decent. Yeah, no, definitely, Randy. So that should be it for you. Sorry, guys. I'm just responding to some. I'm talking to Maddie, actually. I know you guys haven't seen Maddie in a while. Maddie just texted me. Stop texting Maddie right now. Yeah, Maddie's still taking a break, guys. He's just busy with like his own stuff. He has his own barber studio now, so he's just busy with that. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So he's taking a break from trading. Trading is just kind of stressful sometimes. You guys know how it is. So yeah, Nathan, you should probably reach out to Maddie to make sure. He said he'll let you know by the end of the week. He's talking about the bachelor party. So yeah, he's responding back to me. But yeah, Maddie should probably be back at some point. You just gotta give him some time. It's just hard. If you guys can't focus on trading 100%, it's always an issue, obviously, because you get distracted. Like if you're doing two things at once, it's gonna be hard. So yeah, if you guys want to trade and you guys want to make this full time, you got to make sure that you actually put in the focus, at least during the live session time. Let's see, Maria's asking, so I don't fully understand the strategy. Are you using pivot confirmation for buy or sell? So no, you're not using really much confirmation at all. You're using it's at your discretion. So you don't have to wait for the confirmation of the trend. If you see price swinging up and there's no confirmation of trend yet, you can start looking for entry. Same with the opposite direction, right? You don't have to look for, and this is why I was saying like this strategy is going to be hard for a lot of people who don't know how to like identify direction on their own, because you would have to use my confluences or my analysis to really understand where price is going. So for example, over here, the trend wasn't confirmed yet, but if price pushed up here, the trend would have been closer to confirming, and I would have been okay with, the entry up here. This one down here, not yet. That's why I wouldn't have taken it. Same with these over here, like the trend wasn't confirmed yet, but it's still an entry right here that came through, right? So you have to use your discretion, Maria. Like you have to understand how to look for direction, right? There's a lot of different things you can look at. You can use the pivots, typically if price is below the pivots, it's probably going to be bearish. If price is above the pivots, it's probably going to be bullish. You can also use the trend meter down below. So the trend meter down below is red. So obviously it's easier to tie those together. Two confluences indicating a downwards trend. On top of that, you can use the divergence down here to identify where momentum is going. That's going to be another confluence for a sell that price will likely continue to drop. You can use momentum here as well. There's like a lot of different ways to confirm it. So you kind of have to just think like ahead. Like then that's kind of what makes it a little difficult for a lot of new traders. I know you're not a new trader, Maria, so it'll make sense to you to like to some extent. But with regard to new traders, it's not like set. There's no set criteria where it's like, oh, make sure that all the pivots are crossed over, or make sure that the trend meter is red. Because sometimes the trend meter will be blue, and sometimes the pivots will be shifting, but they're not confirmed yet. But you can still take a buy in a situation like that. So yeah, it's just going to take a lot of practice of like watching how price moves because normally this is how I trade anyways. Like I don't usually really use a specific strategy. Like whenever you guys see me make like a ton of profits, like for example on Friday, right? On Friday, what did I do? I on Friday I locked in like 6,000, right? I wasn't just using one strategy. I was using a bunch of different strategies and using different confluences. So last Friday I made 6,000. That's a lot more than I typically make on these live sessions, but I was just using basically my own discretion. I was looking for price or break structure. I saw some high-low scalps. I saw some momentum divergence. I saw some pivot scalps. I just saw a bunch of different entries, and then I took entries based off my analysis. So just something to keep in mind. Nathan over here just mentioned that the MPS just hit. So there was a sell signal here. The trend was bearish. This candle retraced up to this point right here at the 10 mark. And yeah, the entry would have happened like right at the 10 right there. If anybody had taken that. It was like right there. Let's see, Jose is asking, when do you think you're going to start your hedge fund? So I just got to take the test, Jose, hopefully by the end of summer. I was planning on taking the test mid-June, or at the end of June, but I haven't really been studying as much as I should be. So hopefully by the end of June or early next month, I'll take the test, June, July, and then I'll be done by that. Hopefully by the end of summer, the hedge fund will be started. And then, yeah, at that point, I'll probably just trade for you, Jose. So you don't have to, I know you don't have time for this, but yeah, for you and everybody else, pretty much. Not everybody here, but to Jose specifically. Jose knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, so like certain people in here, well, I'll be doing like the hedge fund will be managing accounts for the most part. Yeah, so hopefully by the end of summer, I'll be done with the test. Once I pass the test, I'll register with the NFA. I'm trying to lag it a little bit too with the NFA because once I register as a professional trader, like on paper, you start to incur a lot of fees. Like for right now, I'm paying like $5 for the data fees right here on TradingView. I think I got to pay like a couple $100 or maybe $1,000 a month for the data once you're a professional trader. So I'm kind of lagging it a little bit on purpose because I just don't want to have all those restrictions because then I got to register with all the agencies and I got to set up all this other stuff and it's just more work on my end and I'm just not ready to work. You know, I've been happy with like doing the minimal work where I just kind of trade with you guys here in the morning and it's just easier. Like when I start the hedge fund, it's gonna be so much work for me because I'm gonna have to like deal with other clients and then it's just more stuff that I have to deal with. Let's see, HP is asking, why do they make you pay more because you're a pro? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what they do. Like, you know, like when you sign up for Ninja or like you sign up for any of these brokers, they typically ask you if you're a professional trader or not. If you're a professional trader, you have like way more fees. It's dumb. I know it's dumb. You got to pay so many fees for a lot of different things. And you have more restrictions too. But then again, you get to trade people's money. So there's a pro and con to it. Like they charge you more because you're a pro and then they expect that you're making, you know, a certain amount of money. So you're able to afford it. And they're basically taxing you. That's what they do. It's like it's how like the country taxes the rich, right? Like rich people own businesses and stuff and they still tax them. They tax them even though they're doing better. Just because they know how to do something better than somebody else, they just tax them and they got to pay more in certain fees and stuff like that. Like even with this, like when I started this company, in California, you have to pay a franchise fee, which doesn't make any sense. Like every year you have to pay like, I think $500 to $800 just to have a business, which just doesn't make sense. It's the same with like any other regulatory entity out there. But yeah, I wish there was a better answer for you, HP, but there isn't. They're just charging you extra because they expect professional traders to be making more money from trading. So they kind of just want to get their cut in there. Which again is dumb. Yeah, I think I have to pay like $1,000 for like membership to the NFA as well, which is also another fee, which doesn't really go anywhere. It's just for them to look over me and basically all the other traders that are out there. Yeah, Nick's at $100 in Oregon. See, I'd rather pay $100 than like 500 to 800 here in California. That's why a lot of people are discouraged to open businesses here. Because you're either going to get screwed with taxes, you're going to get screwed with fees, unless you know the workarounds. Obviously, I know the workarounds, but not everybody does. All right, guys, so it's getting closer to 8 o'clock. I'm just not really expecting anything to happen here. As you guys can see, price is still going sideways right here, as this just continues to consolidate. So I'm not really expecting anything to happen from here until 8 o'clock. So guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, today just wasn't really a solid day of trading. You can see a lot of the manipulation happened here based off the news at 5:30, and then it kind of just went in limbo for the entire session. There wasn't really too much direction or too much movement. I think a lot of people are waiting for Powell to speak at 11 o'clock. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are going to continue trading, the market's probably going to be or it's starting to pick up right now. Having a big spike right here off this red candle. But yeah, I think this is temporary. There might be a big spike right here, and then after that, price will just continue to consolidate until at least 11 o'clock once Powell speaks. So, all right, guys, as we get closer to 8 o'clock, I think this is going to be my cutoff here. I'm not taking any trades anyway, so there's no reason for me to let it really be on the charts. And there's just no reason for anybody else here to really mess on the charts, because you can see how price here is just, now it's just ranging in a bigger range. Same consolidation, but now it's just in a bigger range. Not a good area to trade in. So if you guys don't have to trade, I would just sit out the market, come back tomorrow when the market's moving in a little more directional. Let me check the calendar for news tomorrow real quick. So tomorrow we have some news pre-market jobless claims. It's decently big news, but it's not like today where we had the CPI. I don't know if PPI tomorrow will be very volatile. I don't think it's going to be similar to like how price spiked today, but I guess I'll take a look at it and see if this is something to look out for. But for the most part, you're going to see some news here pre-market at 5:30 during the day. There's just going to be gas stock change at 7:30, and that's pretty much it. So hopefully the market will move a bit more directional during the live session time, and then we'll take it from there. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. If there's any more profits that you guys want to share, feel free to send them in. We got some profits here from Johnny. Johnny locked in 1,313 for the day per account. He has 3 accounts here, so well over 3,000 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Johnny. And I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys here tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, same place, same time tomorrow.